An aircraft is unlike any other product because it is never truly finished.
Even after a safe landing, an aircraft has not reached the end of its journey.
In aviation, every flight is only a temporary state. Continuous inspection and maintenance are part of the design itself.
Aircraft are not built to be finished, but to remain ready for the next flight.
An aircraft hangar is never loud, yet it is always in motion.
Within this vast space, every movement follows its own rhythm.
Aviation runs on precise repetition. No rush, no randomness.
This quiet rhythm is what keeps the sky safe.
Aviation safety does not begin on the runway.
It begins with quiet inspections, long before an aircraft ever takes off.
Aviation does not rely on luck. Safety is built through procedures, discipline, and precise repetition every day. Before an aircraft ever flies, trust is created right here.
Every completed shift adds another layer of safety for the next flight. In aviation, no work shift is ever small. Every shift is a link in a safety chain that never breaks.
Safety does not depend on a single moment, but on precise work repeated across every shift. Every flight has a side that passengers never see. It is not inside the cabin, but in places few people ever step into.
Aviation is built on work that never seeks attention, yet can never be skipped.
This unseen side is what quietly supports every safe flight.
Every day, thousands of aircraft leave the ground, taking off on time, landing safely, then quietly fading from our thoughts. We grow used to believing the sky is always stable, that aviation is simply something guaranteed.
But there is a truth few people consider. Aviation safety does not begin on the runway.
It is not created in the cockpit. It begins somewhere else.
Inside the workshop, there is no cheering, only the steady rhythm of repeated work.
A component checked today will be checked again tomorrow and the day after.
They do not work for the present, but for the next flight and the one after that.
In the workshop, no one asks, is this enough? The only question is, can this be done better?
Safety does not come from the newest technology, but from people who understand their own limits. The most enduring standards are always created by those who never need to be seen. Every day, thousands of aircraft leave the ground, taking off on time, flying steadily, and landing safely.
Yet very few people ever ask, what truly keeps the sky in order?
Not the cockpit, not the runway, and not the spectacle of advanced technology.
Aviation safety begins somewhere else, where the steady sound of metal never fades.
Inside the aircraft workshop, there is no applause, only people working in silence.
The machines here are extremely precise, but they do not know what safe enough truly means.
It is people who set the limits, and discipline is what keeps those limits from fading over time.
The greatest challenge is not building a more advanced aircraft, but preserving discipline even when everything seems perfect. The solution is not speed, but the patience to repeat the right process every single day. Because inside the aircraft workshop, where few people ever look, the future of the sky is decided from the ground. Before a jet leaves the ground, there is a moment of breathless silence. Not in the cockpit, but in the mind of the one responsible for everything.
Every bolt, every wire, could be the line between life and death.
Just one red light and everything stops.
No panic. No room for mistakes. The flight does not begin in the cockpit, but here.
Silence to hear what is inside.
Every flight is a promise, quiet but firm.
They do not fly, but they make every flight possible.
The seal on panel 7 appears intact. I am proceeding with the visual inspection of the adjacent housing.
There are places where engineering is not a moment of explosion, but exists as a habit.
Every morning, the aircraft factory wakes up before the sun.
There is no rush. There is no improvisation. Only people stepping into familiar positions and repeating the work of yesterday. Inside the aircraft factory, no one asks what should be done differently today.
The only question is whether we are doing it right, as we always do.
Here, engineering is not performed, it is trained.
The greatest challenge is not a lack of technology, but avoiding complacency when work becomes familiar.
The factory solves this with habit, rechecking, stopping when in doubt, and doing things right every single day.
Because the place where engineering's truly powerful is where it has become habit. Every day, aircraft take off, carrying sound, power, and the gaze of hundreds of people below. We are used to the noise, but rarely ask how much silence came before it.
Before an aircraft passes above our heads, how many people have lowered their eyes to a workbench?
This story does not begin on the runway. It begins inside the aircraft workshop.
Inside the aircraft workshop, there is no stage, no spotlight for display. Every bolt is tightened to the correct force, every surface checked again and again.
They do not work to impress. They work to avoid mistakes.
Safety does not come from grand moments, but from discipline and patience repeated every day.
That quiet discipline solves aviation's hardest problem, keeping every flight trustworthy.
The things built most quietly are often the ones that fly the highest. When we think of aviation, we think of the sky, the roar of engines, and the moment the wheels leave the ground. But very few people ever ask, before an aircraft appears in the sky, where was it?
This story does not begin in the air. It begins in a place with no windows to the sky.
This is the aircraft factory, a place without audiences, without applause, only people working in silence.
Inside the factory, there are no explosive moments. Aircraft are not born in a single day. They are formed piece by piece, through small details checked again and again.
Here, no one works to impress. They work to avoid mistakes.
The greatest challenge is not building more advanced aircraft, but maintaining the same safety standard over time.
This factory solves that challenge with discipline in every action, every process, and every correct repetition, every day. The place where aircraft are truly born is not the sky, but the silence of the factory.